Good to talk to those guys. Good to hear from those guys. And, of course, Rusty will be back up here with me for the juniors game. Nige Wilkins with me here for the senior game, 21-21 at halftime.
Great game.
Been a spectacular game. Lots of plays, lots of big plays.
Yes, from both sides. Defensive side, you got Thornton. He's making some big stops there. Chavez, a couple guys that are making it. Big Bear Barker making some big stops. On the other side, Vakari Swain, 5 catches, 99 yards, a touchdown. He's been performing great in this game when he gets the ball in his hands. Ben Guthrie on the other side. I mean, he's been pressured. That drive right before the half, it's like 2 sacks there. He's cool, calm, and collected. Made the throw on the outside there to Ethan Christian. Got them in the red zone. He's performing great. I think he got 106 yards, 2 touchdowns. Those are kind of standouts for me.
All right, let's take a look at the halftime stats. The team stats, they're presented by Gatorade. And you see not a lot of rushing for the American team, minus 9 yards right there.
Yeah, not able to get it kind of going on the ground, but leaning more on the passing attack, 181 yards. So we'll see if they kind of try to get it going a little bit in the second half of the running game, but probably leaning on the passing game. They've been performing great. Each team has a turnover so far. Both teams very aggressive on 4th down, but they've been converting both for 3 for 3, and they're kind of going back and forth. But the big thing has been the turnovers. I believe Nationals had 2 turnovers. They were able to get a punch out from both Brookwood players, Noah Holton, and then also the other player was able to get a big interception. I thought those were huge also in the first half.
It's an all-star game. No punting in an all-star game, right? We're going for it on 4th down. Let's take a look at the first half highlights. And Keegan Stover, we haven't seen him really since that opening series. He injured that opening touchdown drive, then Ben Guthrie, and then Stover scored again.
Yes, big run there. Nice downfoot throw here from Gray. Hitting Elko.
Yep. Elko had a nice first half. There's Vakari Swain, and here's that speed.
Turns on the Jets there. South Carolina signee having a great first half. Gray throws the interception right there. Corey Elliott there with the pick. Big fumble there.
And as you mentioned, the Brookwood players had a couple of big forced turnovers in that first half on the defensive side.
That they did. And another thing to watch on the second half is also that national defensive line. They're really getting after it, really making the American kind of quarterbacks feel uncomfortable. But a late touchdown there from Temple receiver Cam Vaughn was really impressed. I think you saw some great storylines this year. I mean, you've seen kind of the Gainesville program under first-year head coach Josh Niblett. They get all the state final. Carrollton moves up to 7A. They make it all the way to the state final. Trading blows back and forth with Mill Creek, who just looked dominant. Ever since their Buford loss, they just looked dominant. Defensively, they were kind of firing on all cylinders, and they held tough in the first half, but they kind of just pulled away there in the second. But those 2 stories I thought were great this year.
Yeah, and Josh Lovelady told us, that loss to Buford, you never like to lose, but that was a good thing for his team.
Yep.
Helped them reset and refocus, and you were exactly right. They were a different team after that Buford loss on October 14th. Didn't lose again. It was the only loss of the year. Guthrie does run for the first down to keep the game going. In the Alpharetta story, talking about Ben Guthrie, the Alpharetta story, them getting back, this is the best season they've had since the days of Josh Dobbs.
That's a great point. I think Jason Curvin, he's just doing a great job there as the head coach. I talked to him a couple times this season, and he really, I think, has a good pulse on that program. I think he can really ultimate kind of their potential. And they got a lot of good young players coming back. Obviously, you're going to lose your quarterback, Guthrie. You're going to need some young guys to kind of step up. But I think he got something, brewing over there.
Yep, the Alpharetta story was certainly a good one this year. A team that rebounded and made the playoffs, was a factor in the region. Those were all great things. All those storylines were really good storylines this year.
For sure.
Maybe the last play of the game right here. Guthrie fires for a touchdown. A 4-touchdown day for Ben Guthrie in the Georgia Elite Classic. Great way for that young man to cap a phenomenal senior season.
You talk about elevating your stock, and you talk about putting out some good tape. Ben Guthrie has done that today. His 4th touchdown, second to Ethan Christian. He has done the same thing here today. I think he has over 150-plus yards receiving. I mean, just great there. They're obviously not going to get the win, but Guthrie put out some good tape today, really showed that he can be elusive in the pocket, extend plays, look downfield, and hit strikes down the field all game long. So really impressed.
What a phenomenal performance by our player of the game, Ben Guthrie. Going to cap it with a touchdown here at the end. It's not going to change who wins or loses, but on a game where a lot of it's about the individual performance woven within the team performance, and he throws a 2-point conversion on the final pass of his high school football career.
And welcome back to Norcross High School for Game 4 of our 4-game Corky Kell Dave Hunter Basketball Classic, and the showcase game as the Douglas Astros take on the Norcross Blue Devils. Matt Stewart back with Najee Wilkins, and this is the showcase game. Norcross team, one of the powerhouse programs in the state for a number of years, led by Toby Ojokwu.
Yes, he's their lone returning starter, graduated 5 seniors last year. So this is a team that's still trying to figure everything out, right? Going to have their, tournament schedule coming up, but team that's trying to just get it going. Jerron Salisbury is a player to watch. Coach McMillan said that he thinks he could be the best defender he's ever coached. So that's no slow praise. I mean, that's high praise. So can't wait to see him out on the floor tonight.
This Douglas team plays in the toughest region in 3A, where Sandy Creek, defending champion, Cedar Grove was the state runners-up. They were the ones that knocked them out in the Final Four a year ago. And going back to the days of Jarvis and Jonas Hayes, they've got a new set of twins to lead them in the McKell twins.
Yes, they lead them. They're great at creating open shots, getting the ball going. Can't wait to see what they're going to be able to do in this game. Arden Weingartner is another player you want to kind of watch for. His ability to create. Jack Swiss Army knife as well. And as you mentioned, back to that region, right? Sandy Creek gave Grayson their best game so far this year, 64-63 loss, but played them really tough. So that goes to show you how good that region really is.
So Douglas comes in at 4-2. They played last night and beat Southwest Atlanta Christian 108-49. That broke a 2-game losing streak for them after they'd started the season 3-0. And Norcross comes in at 2-3 overall, and they were 61-51 winners over Meadow Creek last night in their Region 7 7A opener. So should be a fun one. Douglas rated as high as number 2 in the state in the Score Atlanta 3A top 10. And Norcross was in the top 10 to start the season, but dropped out after beginning the year with a 3-game losing streak. But they've since won 2 in a row, beating Pebblebrook on the Friday after Thanksgiving and then winning last night against Meadow Creek.
Yeah, that was a good program. Pebblebrook's having, obviously a tougher year, but year in, year out, they're there. So picking up that win for them was huge. They're dropping a couple games for Douglas, but playing a really tough team tonight. And I got to give some love to Coach Darren Rogers, right? Comes from his head coach, or his dad used to be a head coach, so learned a lot from him. He's taking over this program and got him to the Final Four last year. So they're looking to not only be the best team in 3A, but the best team in the state.
Yeah, his dad, the head coach at Westlake, so he's familiar with playing Norcross from his association with Westlake. But as hard as it is to believe, Douglas and Norcross have never played until right now.
Wow. Yeah, they don't play each other a lot.
Kind of like the Baldwin and Norcross matchup on the girls' side, where you had 4A versus 7A. Here you've got 3A versus 7A. And while that would be kind of a mismatch on the football field, here on the basketball field, where you're counting on 5 players, maybe 8 tops, it's evened out a little bit.
Definitely.